Thanks for stopping by. I'll be back later. Hey friends. Hey guys, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. And yeah, well, hey, are you doing good? Hey, great to see you. Let's do this. Let me put you on some music just for a second because I forgot something here. So, sorry about that. We're gonna do this. My bad. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to give you a little music and I'll come right back for that. So, let's do that.
Remember that moment alone? Do you remember a heart left cold? I walk a lonely road up to my find forgiveness.
It's not exciting. Thanks, thanks for standing by and hanging with us through that. Oh dear. All right. Oh. Tell you what actually happened. I started this thing just because I was so excited about stuff and forgot that I hadn't put those fabulous new teefers in and make things very difficult. So my apologies for that. But hey, thanks for sticking with me. Okay, so hey, Radio Baldini here. Things are moving at an incredible pace, and I can't even keep up with it. So I'm gonna that hurts. Try to give you the best update that I can. So let's see. We'll move backwards from we'll just go in backwards direction. This evening I had a major trimmer. Boy, I don't know if this is even a good idea. I'm trying. So a major event, and as they've been continuing, and tonight was the worst. I mean what am I trying to say? Sorry, the word finding issues are getting to me. Communication at all is going to become very difficult very quickly if we can't figure this out. Yes, I was having a seizure. There we go. And real bad, such that it was like convulsions. I'm, unregulated. I can't control it. It was really bad, and I mean such that it's making uncontrolled utterances, mouth noises, right? And it was, it's just bad. It's just crazy. Again, I'm not here to complain. I'm just kind of giving you the update because there's good stuff on the other side, right? So as much as this is weird, as much as that's a bad thing and very both uncomfortable and how do I want to say this, undignified in every way. There is amazing news on the other side of the equation, which is if I haven't told you yet, and maybe I haven't because it's all so new and happening so quickly. I'm on a mission to save the world. Have I told you about it? And I'm not kidding. It's not a joke. It's for real, and I think it's going to work, or at least make the world a better place. How about that? We'll do that. So making the world a better place for real, a real proposition that actually has a possibility of succeeding. So let's kind of run down some of the events here. Well, you know what? Let me do this instead. Let me tell a different story instead, because that stuff is all going at such a pace, and if I release some of it, then it'll lack the punch when I get there. So let's do this instead. Okay, so things have. I guess the setup of the thing. So what am I doing? Trying to save the world, and I need buy-in from a number of people. I just calling in a favor from old friends and people from in my past and that sort of stuff. And my first, just a couple of quick asks. Will you help me save the world? And seems like a good idea. What do I need to do? Well, again, the buy-ins are real simple. It doesn't cost you any money, right? But first, it's just about an hour each time to get to go through some things and answer some questions, right? And then if you're into it, maybe more, right? Do that. But without even getting into the premise of it and what that looks like, because again, I need to really dial it in so that I don't dilute the message. And if I release it too soon, then it'll leak out and then it won't be what it is. Because what I need to do is to wind this up, right? Because a lot like a clock, and then let it all go at once. That's what we need to do. But it is happening, and it's a miracle, and you guys are going to be blown away by the nature of this, right? Because your boy Baldini has had a previous life, and in fact several different lives, I guess, that I haven't told you about, right? Because I think it was Sir Paul McCartney who told me the only thing being a name dropper buys you is a nasty reputation as a name dropper. So yeah, well, but I want to tell you that the creator is involved in this and has demonstrated it to me in a number of different ways over the past couple of days. Like I say, it's just all in motion now. So it's just kind of a blur at this point because I also am having kind of some memory problems, right? So I experienced the event, but it's difficult for me to make the memory to, keep the edit in the movie that is our life that we play in our head. However, I think I'm still on path, on target. Because most of the time I don't sound completely nuts, because it really is a pretty simple proposition, right? And I don't even want to get into the pitch for that right now, because I want to tell you that to show you, to demonstrate how amazing this is and how it's going to go. One of the key players so far in this little wild journey, and I'm going to keep his identity close for reasons that I think, well, may become apparent, maybe not, but it's what I need to do. So we're just going to call him Tim, okay? My friend Tim. I've known Tim for a long time, and every moment that we have spent together has been just a beautiful experience of manly men being in love. I don't know, but we just enjoy life and see the beauty in it and engage in it. And Tim is a musician, I'll give you that. He's an artist, and we have many things in common, and we just hit it off the very first time that we met, and have been, again, fast friends ever since. And my biggest regret is that I didn't invest more time early on when he invited me to, because I felt I was kind of getting in his way. He was really on the roll right then, and I didn't want to mess him up. And he assured me that would not be the case, but nevertheless, I had my own thing going, and was trying to make my way in the world as well. So I regret deeply that I did not spend as much time with him as I would have liked during those early years. But to this day, like, still every moment that we've spent together talking or has been just joyous. And I'm Tim's biggest fan, I think. Tim, early in this conversation, he's one of the first people I called to say, "Can I get your buy-in? Will you say yes to this crazy proposition of trying to save the world?" He's like, "Well, of course. Like, why would I not do that, right?" And he's so immensely supportive since the outset. But Tim is also fast friends with the creator, and this is one of those things, again, which is why I love one of the things I love about the creator so much is that I know without a doubt when I meet somebody else who knows the creator really intimately, I can tell immediately. There's no doubt. It is like right there, as plain as day, because it pours through them, it shines through them. The closer you get to the creator, the more it pours out of you. And don't know how to explain it other than that, but it's one of the things I really dig about my maker, is that anywhere I go in the world, that so far, right, doesn't matter where I go, if I meet somebody who has a tight relationship with them, I can tell absolutely. And then because we both talk about the same person. I mean, it's like two guys who have previously dated the same girl and they talk about her, right? I guess not exactly like that, but you get the meaning, right? That we both, it's clear that we both have had similar experiences, although separated by time and space. So there's that. Tim is very definitely an intimate friend of our creator as well, and it shines out of him. And one of the many beautiful things that I love about my friend Tim. When I called Tim to tell him about the situation and this idea, before I could even get to the idea, he's like, "How can I help? What can I do?" Because that's Tim, and he's that kind of guy. And I'm like, "I don't even know right now. Like, I don't know. I need everything. I have nothing in place, but I know I need to go. Right? This needs to happen." He's like, "Okay, well, tell me how I can help make it happen." So I just said a couple of things, blah blah blah. These are probably going to be necessary. because everything's happening in real time. It's coming so fast that there's no chance to even keep track of it. Also, the fact that, again, continuing to have major, well, mid-sized and major neurological events that affect memory and communication. So it makes it, volume, you say volume is very low. Okay, let's try this. So sorry about that. Let me correct that. So how about volume? Is it volume just on my, is my voice also low? Is that happening? Do I need to turn that up? Because I'll fix it. I'll do my best to make it a real deal for you. I don't want you to have to struggle. And I have no real way to know what it looks like on the output. So let me take. Oh, I do see it is low. Let me get that. Hey, like that. That's probably better. Okay, sorry about that. Already good. So I'll continue. So the Tim has been very encouraging from the very beginning, and okay, hopefully that fixes it. Or tell me now, Phil. Did it improve? Because I turned it up here, and it seems like it should be going better. I see a little bit better in terms of the. Is this better? Hopefully, Phil. Talk to me, Goose. Yeah, cool. Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Okay, let's continue on then. So Tim has been very encouraging from the outset. It's like, how can I help? Right? And of course, I'm not going to ask him, hey, Tim, give me everything, give me all your stuff because I need it. Because again, starting out, I don't know what I need. I need infrastructure. I need help, basically. But he's been helpful, not only encouraging me, but sort of, refocusing and helping guide me in the right direction. So, yeah, it is live. It certainly is. But it's about to get really live. You guys are going to love what comes down the pipe really quickly. And this is just an example of that. I want to give you sort of an example of the kind of things that have been happening, because there is just miracles. There's no other way to put it. That when I call people that I haven't talked to in 15, 20 years, they have just been thinking about me, right? Just that sort of thing. And we've just bumped into each other on Facebook for the first time, in years. And I'm like, hey, can I talk to you? Can I talk to you for a couple of minutes? And so far, hasn't been too difficult to get people in to give their agreement to the first asks, which are very simple, right? The buy-in, the agreement to help, and for most of these folks, just the first thing is just an hour of your time to let somebody that does not know you, but does know me, interview you about me. Basically 5 or 6 questions about when did you meet, and under what circumstances, and that sort of stuff. So Phil, great to see you, man. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm going to ask a favor of you pretty soon. I'm going to say, will you help me save the world? But for now, just listen, right? And it's not going to cost you a penny, I promise. You can give if you want, but I can't be trusted not to give it away, right? So that's my bargain. I got no Kool-Aid to sell, but if you're a traveler and looking for some cool water on the drip, stop by and I'll help you out. So like I said, Tim has been very encouraging and supportive, and helping me sort of refocus as well, because I'm kind of in a manic state a little bit. I'm so excited about this. So it's weird, right? So, by the way, did I tell you that I finally got to the neurologist today, and I think I know less, right, after doing that than before, because there's a lot of the phrase, it's not well understood. Yeah. The fuck do you say? I know, and they try to give me the kind of the bullshit at the beginning of like, well, this conversion, it's a mental condition. I'm like, don't even start, because like, yeah, okay, given, and yes, I could probably benefit from a little bit of therapy, right, to calm down and that sort of shit. But it didn't wake me up in the middle of the night out of a dead sleep, right, into a full-on, tremor state, because I'm sad because my mom died, right? That's not what occurred. So while there probably is some conversion thing happening or whatever, tension turned back into this, categoric misfire of the nervous system. It's a legitimate thing. It's not like, like if you talk to the therapist, it's going to go away, right? Completely not going to happen. And so, so we're going to have to do some exclusion. And so, again, neurologist starts with, well, this is usually treated with some, behavioral therapy. I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, you know what? The thing is, I've already made the appointments, right? I'm going to do a weekly talk with somebody just because I could use it, whatever, right? And it gets me on the list. I check the box, and I did what they said. But it's not going to cure the thing, right? And so nothing is going to cure it, frankly. And the best we're going to look at this point is to slow its onset, right? How rapid does it go? That's the best I can hope for at this point, and figure out what to do. And so I got a bunch of now MRI stuff lined up. So imaging is all coming. But like I said, in some ways I know less after this visit than I did before. And I'm going to hear a lot of, well, it's not well understood. Yeah, I know. Trust me, because I've been spending the last week deep into abstracts that have been translated from Dutch, right? And so that's a very difficult proposition, especially when in Dutch, right? It makes sense to say this is a condition of the the brain as it connects to the body. But when it translates to English, it comes out it's a mental health condition. Okay, I guess technically, mind, brain cells, sure, mental and health, right? So it's a mental health condition, but it's not in the. It gives the impression, right, in English that you need to go see a shrink, but that's from the original, Dutch before it was translated poorly. It says this is a condition that occurs in the cerebral cortex, right? And it's not well understood. That's what it actually says in Dutch. So it's a physiological condition for sure, right? But it is absolutely affected by your level of stress, right? So, and awareness of it does tend to decrease it pretty dramatically. So it's, again, if you just do a search on YouTube for shell shock, right? The first few guys you get that are just like flopping around, yeah, that's me right now doing that fish flop. I look very much like Michael J. Fox. Thank you very much. Could be a perfect stand-in. And for a couple of days, I thought it was improving, like it was backing up a little bit, and I could move around without too much difficulty, and I felt comfortable actually to drive to the store. And today, it's been the worst. This has been the whole time, and I mean, I'm having convulsions. So, and I can't stop it. I mean, it's just involuntary. It's all the nerves are misfiring, right? And again, I agree that it is caused by stress, right? Induced stress that's it's not being managed well. But again, this is not a result of my grief over the loss and recent burial of my mom, right? I mean, it's probably contributed to it, certainly. And I can see when this is occurring that when stress increases, it dramatically increases the volatility of it. So it's much, much worse with stress. And reducing the stress level does reduce it. But again, it's not going to be cured by talk therapy. That's nonsense, and I don't know who got that idea. So little understood. Yeah, that's because somebody had their head up their ass and didn't even make attempt, right, at dealing with the presenting things that are happening, right? So you got to look directly at the evidence, and in this case, it's for me, I can look at it and see that there is a delamination of the myelin sheath without question, right? Because of this huge intake of gabapentin that I did like 10 years ago, and so I have another presentation of that, right, in another form, which is the myalgic encephalomyelitis, right? That's been bugging me for 3 years and ruining my life. So these two things are like two different. Wildly different things, but unrelated, and yet both pointing at exactly the same direction, which is a loss of the laminating sheath and causing like crosstalk between between the nerves themselves, and so it's misfiring. So both of those things seem evident to me, right? So I'm going to push. So that's my thing, is to use up the insurance and use their fancy machines and get in there and take a look. And so that's what I'm going to do, right? And I'm good. Of course, they want to give you a happy pill. And that was her first thing. Was like, yeah, we'd usually treat this with mental health. I'll write you a prescription, for this, and I'll make you feel better. I'm like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Stop it. Let's back up. Well, back up, lady. Let's talk. Because you started with little understood. I'm like, yeah, you little understand it, right? And you don't care right now, and you think that the best solution here is to give me a pill, right? That I've been taking care of, and go see a shrink, right? So because that's how we deal with it, and there you go. And that's bullshit. I'm got to tell you, sorry about that, but it is just. She's just trying to check the boxes and get me out of there because she doesn't know what the fuck to say. Frankly, right? So yeah, I get it. I don't either, but I've made better progress than you have. Now, granted, I've had more time to look at it than she has, so I'll give her that, fair marks. Yeah. So again, here we go. So we have that thing, and really at this point, I got to tell you, all the little details of and minutia of the neurology of it, right, itself is really secondary, tertiary, whatever. And here's the thing. I was talking to an old friend today, like one of the calls I made, and we got toward the end of the call, right, and he kind of really seriously asked me, he goes, he says, Randy, is it terminal? I was like, the fuck you saying, man? Life is terminal. Everybody fucking dies, dude. What are you talking about? Does it matter? Would my ask matter? Does it make a difference? Well, like, are you going to say no because I'm not going to die sooner than you thought? Like, I don't get the nature of that question. It's very odd to me, right? That it makes it suddenly, I'm more inclined to say yes to your request because you have a disease that is going to kill you sooner, right, than later. What the fuck? Like, and this is a simple ask. Help save the world, right? Does it matter? Like, it's not like I'm not asking for. Make-A-Wish Foundation, right? Or that shit when the kids got cancer or whatever, right? And you send them off to a ball game. That's not what I'm doing here, right? In fact, it's the other way around. I'm trying to give back to you. So, dude, that was I thought about it and it just bugged me later. I was like, really? Like, Randy, is it terminal? Yes. Like, yes. And you have it too, right? You got born. You're going to die. Deal with it, right? Just a matter of, when and how, right? And so, again, I'm looking at this as an opportunity to, fix some old things and heal up, mend some old fences that I probably should have a long time ago, right? But also enjoy the wild fun that I had through life, and to enjoy the relationships, and to get back in touch with people and reminisce with them before I'm unable to, right? So for me, that's kind of the proposition. Also, trying to save the world, right? For you, gonna do that in the same time. So anyway, that's the deal. It's like, but does that matter? Like, what would you say? Are you more inclined to say yes because I'm going to die sooner? I don't understand it. But be that as it may. So yes, it probably will foreshorten my lifespan. How much? The fuck? I don't know, right? But I do know, right? Here's what I can tell you, is that we are at a place here, right? And it's progressive and degenerative. So it's not going to get better. It's not going to grow back or something. And I'm worst case scenario, right? So best case is female presenting in early 20s, a lot of stress, right? And some B12 and some talk therapy helps slow its progression dramatically. I'm worst case scenario. It's a 56-year-old male presenting with full tremors, right? Like complete full on, but 0 to 60, like full presentation, just overnight, sudden, full onset, So in late stage, right? So, and a ton of stress. I manage stress, but with some other comorbid, coexisting neurological conditions. Yeah. So, you can just quickly go, yeah, well, you're fucked. I mean, again, I'm not taking that as like, I'm sad. Oh my God. And here's the other part, I think, is right. so I see so many people, right? What makes it bad, or when they get the big C cancer, then they panic, right? And they're terrified. They don't want to die, right? And so they do everything possible to not die, right? So they'll take all this crazy radiation therapy and all these crazy drugs that reduce their quality of life to zero. They're laying there in their bed and they feel like crap and they don't want to do anything to what? Get 5 more minutes of misery? No, not me, man. So that's not my bag, right? So for me, I'm taking this as an opportunity, right, to do something, right? So my sister, who perished, she was the first of 3 losses right in a row. My sister, and then my niece, and then my mom, just in rapid succession. So again, I don't recommend it. It's not fun. But my sister, right? She passed away, single car collision, presumably rollover, right? So I'm sure she was terrified in those final moments, and she didn't get a chance to do anything. But I do, right? So here's an opportunity where Dad says, "Hey, Baldini, you're a kind of a wild dude, and you're got a terrible." Procrastination streak, right? So here's an opportunity to do something, right, and make a mark. And so I'm going to do this crazy swing for the fence thing, right? Moonshot. I know it is just an expression, right? Just leave it. Just let it go. Okay, so I'm going to take this wild, crazy thing and call in all my old friends for a favor that I've never asked them for anything. And this is one thing. Just give me this one thing. And it's so silly. It doesn't cost you a penny, right? It's just help Baldini save the world, right? By first, shaking hands with a neighbor. Let's not get into all that because that's not important to this conversation, which is the miracle. All right. So I'm been having this kind of activity in the last couple of days and calling people, burning up the phone lines and talking to people I haven't talked to in 20, 25 years and having a wonderful time reminiscing already. It's fabulous. It's delightful. I should have done this years ago. I should have started dying years ago because it's great. I got to tell you, people treat you really well. And I don't do most of them. I stopped immediately after the first 2 doing them on video chat because it's terrifying. Right? Because I look at them and they look at me and I'm like, oh, dude, what's wrong? And they're upset because it's kind of shocking looking, right? And but the look on their face is just enough to make me go, no, I won't do it, right? It's already difficult enough to communicate, and especially without seeing that. That's no, I don't want any part of it, right? And I don't want any of this to be awkward and weird. But it's too late, right? But I'm trying in that regard. So let me get back to the story because this is I was trying to keep it short. It's very difficult for communication. So it takes a lot of energy to do this. All right. So Tim. So he's been very encouraging, and we only talked 2 or 3 times during this process, but he has called back and asked, checked in. How you doing? Yeah, good. So I said this morning I was kind of coming to the end of a really energetic day, and then I was met. Madeline's a little freaked out because she's never seen me like this at all. Like I'm on fire, right? And so she's set back. She's a little worried, like what's going on, right? And I'm in go mode, baby, woo, And so she's kind of shook a little bit, like, oh. And so I'm really concerned about her and like how I manage that because I want to comfort and care for her, but it takes a lot of energy to do that, and I'm at I have to measure, right, this, and so it's a struggle, right, to decide how to do this because I don't want to leave her uncomforted, right, or be unsupportive in any way, but I have to do this thing also, right, and so it's complicated, right. So this morning I was a little stressed, right, and so I just. And because I really shouldn't be driving because part of the seizures, right, is blindness, right, loss of vision for brief periods of time. But it does happen, and there is no guarantee it will come back at all. So, because it often doesn't. I mean, that's one of the ones that of the functional neuropathy that is kind of worrisome, right? Is that it's blindness is one of the big ones that happens, and again, for some people, it never returns, and so yeah, it's very daunting, and it can be in the moment, right? Especially when you have a tremor in the motor cortex. That is actually terrifying, especially when you're out in public somewhere, which I have been a couple of times. I was at the store and trying to find my way through, and I suddenly had an event, and I didn't know where I was and what I was doing, and that is, and it was terrifying, and I just couldn't get out of there fast enough because I didn't know what I was doing there. It's terrible, and so I got to tell you, I'm not used to being afraid. I don't scare easy, right? Very few things back me up, but this has, and not because like I'm intimidated, right? It's an in the moment thing, right? It's part of the neurological process is I guess fear, because you don't know what's happening, and so you're disoriented, and it's bad. Again, I'm not. None of this is to sad sack or play the pity party card. It's really not. It's just the practical fact of these are the things that are happening, and the motivation of why I need to move so quickly, because soon enough, and apparently, like, the last few days have been an indication that I got to move quickly, because it deeply affects my ability to communicate at all, and so I got to stay focused and keep on this so that I can get the results that I want, which is to save the world. All right, so this morning, very early, and I'm stressed. And because I'm worried about how do I do all the things that I need to do, and I can't even kind of remember, like I'm okay sort of in the moment, but I'm not making long-term memories, and so again, it's not editing into the film that plays on the movie of your life. It's not in order anymore, right? So the event happens, but it doesn't edit into its spot for the next thing, so it doesn't sit in its proper place. So I don't know what just happened and its value or meaning. It happened. I had the moment. I know that, but it doesn't fit well, and I don't have a way to properly put it in. And that's part of what's happening. And it's daunting, I got to tell you. So, and again, I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to give you the shape of the territory. So I went very cautiously to the local stores, about a mile away, maybe a mile and a half. So just trying to be really careful. And I got out there, and so I go in, and I'll stop, trying to get my stuff done right, and really quickly get the things so I could get back home and get off the road. So I got some juice, orange juice, and apple juice for Mama for diabetes and stuff. So I covered all the bases there, and but I was really stressed and just distracted, and so drove to work 3 miles or whatever. And I get there, and I realized that I didn't have my iPad with me, and I take my iPad everywhere. It's like one of the guys at work called it my iPendage, right? Because I'm constantly in contact with people, and that's where all the data is, right? So and it's been that way for several years. It just goes with me everywhere, right? So that I have, because if I get inspired with something or whatever, I can keep the data, whatever. Doesn't matter. But what does matter, right? It's always with me. And so when it's now not with me, when I get to the shop and it's not there, and I'm like, did I leave that at home? Oh dear. And so first thing I do, of course, is go to my phone and check the Find My Device, right? And it finds everything else, the earbuds and all the other stuff that I have that's Apple. But when it comes to iPad, there's nothing, right? What? How? That's not even possible. I didn't even know what's going on. Like I don't know how that's possible. So let's see here. I want to come to a second. Yeah. Here. Yeah, no. Yes, here we go. Okay, so it's about, I think I was at the office 7 o'clock ish. And then I go back home and I'm like, I must have left it home, right? But it's not pinging, it's not showing up right here. So we have all the other stuff is there, right? The phone and the AirPods and all that sort of stuff, and the iPhone. But the iPad, no location, right? This what? Like how is that possible? It's powered up. It's running the app. So what's going on here? It doesn't make any sense here. And so I go, focus on the thing here, and I can't find it. Like, what? What? Like that doesn't even seem possible. Like, can't find it at all because it regularly pings the network tower. So what happened here? So now I'm really freaked out, right? And I just like, oh, this is a disaster, right? Everything's just, it's not. So even though it's early and Tim is on the West Coast, I called Tim and I get voicemail, but I'm like, Tim, please tell me you're not fucking with me, dude. Like I need to know that you're in this, right? Because I can't take it. I need some help here. Just encourage me. Like, are you just fucking with me because I didn't talk to you for 15 years and it's a joke? Get back at me, dude. Don't do that to me. And he calls me right back and he goes, no, bro, come on, man. We're good. And so his mellifluous voice calmed me down, and I'm like, yeah, okay. And so he's like, you'll find it. All right. So I'm like, okay. And then it pinged just for a second, just the briefest second. I just barely saw it. It pinged back at the grocery store that I had been at. I'm like, oh, I knew it. It's there. But I know what happened is that what I did, because I did it about 5 years ago at another time when I was stressed and distracted, is I had the iPad with me and I put it in the, where they you put the kids, right? And it's got that little flappy thing that you can flip to get their legs in and out. So, I just regularly put the iPad right there in the top and usually fold it open so I can see it because I'm usually watching or listening to some podcast, whatever. And that's usually where it goes. So it has happened. It has occurred before that when everything else kind of got put away and put the groceries in the car and all that sort of stuff, right? That it sits in such a way that it looks exactly like the flap that you would have the kids sit on. It's a black cover and it's the iPad is just about the size, right? You just don't see it. And I didn't. Right, so like I said, it happened like previously, like 5 years ago, and I left it there, and it took me a minute to find it, but I used the where's my device thing, and I located it, and they were very very surprised and shocked when I showed up in their driveway, and they wanted to know how that had occurred, and I wasn't at that point inclined to tell them. So, I knew exactly what had happened. Is that I had left. I had left the iPad in that grocery cart, and it's like an hour later now, right? So it's gone. So I'm thinking, okay, just we'll try it. So I go in, I drive back to the store, and I go in, and the little skinny kid there at customer service, and it's still very early. I think it's like 7 o'clock at this point. And I told him the situation. I said, "Dude, I'm desperate, man. Can you help me?" And so he's kind of looks around and he's trying to see because I was thinking perhaps it's possible I'd just left it there at the self checkout thing. That's happened once before as well. Maybe I better stop taking it around with me, right? I don't know, but in any case, so I said, dude, I'm desperate, man. So if I know that this is not in any way plausible, but if a person actually is a decent person and brings it back in, would you call me? He's like, absolutely, right. And then I'm just standing there going, I don't even know what to do. And then, Tim pings me, right? He's like, it's going to be okay. It's all good, right? It's going to be okay. I don't know how you're going to do that. And I'm freaking out. And he says to me, he says, Randy, fear and faith cannot coexist. Choose. And this is just like the scene out of the Matrix, exactly, where Neo gets the phone, and he's on the phone, and because in that moment, right, he says, fear and faith cannot coexist. Choose. And instantly I got a boom, really hard nudge from Dad saying, trust him. It's like, wow, that's unusual. I mean, that was very clear. So I said, oh, okay, Tim, I'll trust you. And I instantly, I just calmed myself down, and like, it's going to be okay. And I realized in that moment, right, that it was going to be okay. And again, the material value of the object is not really what the deal was. It was just the stress of it and the data. I need the data, and I'm thinking that's probable. I can get it back. Most of it's been backed up between the iCloud and Dropbox, so it probably is mostly gettable. But I'm not really in a mental state to do it, right? And I really can't afford another device. I mean, we're toast right now. My job is over, and PayPal has been holding even little donations. It's just wretched, and so I was just in a state, right? And but Tim says, well, I said, fear and faith cannot coexist. Choose. And I instantly just went, yeah, okay, I trust you. So I just stood there and breathed until I was in calmness. With no purpose. I didn't have any plan to do anything. I'm just standing there. And the little skinny kid suddenly shows up, and he kind of pokes his head around the corner, and he goes, what time did you come here? And I said, I don't know, before 7, because I was at the shop at 7, so it was before 7, sometime between when you open and 7. He's like, oh. He goes, were you dressed this way? Yeah. And I realize now that he's going to look at video. I'm like, nah, it's a smart kid. Thank you. So grateful, right? And then, so I realize what's happening, and he does the thing, and so I'm still standing there, and it's, I don't know, 5 or 8 minutes. I mean, it's some time, a substantial amount of time, but I'm just standing there. I got no plan, just standing there waiting, and then he pops back out, and he's like, yeah, I can't find you. Okay, all right. But I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to lose my shit. But I just want to text him back, and I said, Tim, like, it's not here. He goes, you'll be all right, right? You'll get it. Okay. So, whatever you say, Tim, we're in go mode now. I got nothing else, so I'm just standing there, and just standing there. But I'm breathing, and I'm getting calmer. And again, realizing that everything's going to be okay. It really is. It doesn't matter. It's all okay. And then a gal comes downstairs, and she's got kind of a cheeky grin. And she's like, you weren't wearing this jacket. I'm like, oh, okay. She goes, follow me. And so we go outside, and then we walk out to the cart receiver things, and she looks in one, and I'm like, yeah, I've already looked in that. I've been there. It's the first place I looked because I know what's going on. And she kind of looks over in the next one, right? And obviously it's not there. That there's no carts in that one. And then she keeps walking, and I'm like, where are you going? And she keeps walking to the carts. There's another cart collector all the way at the back of the parking lot. And I'm really good about putting the cart in the collector, right? I just think that's civic duty. You put the cart back, right? It's kind of a measure of you, right? Of the quality of your person is, do you put the cart back? So yeah, I put the cart back. And we walk over there, and there it is. And that happened, and I was like, it's the Christmas miracle. It's George Bailey. You don't even know. You don't even know. And then I'm going, Tim, who are you? At that moment, if Tim had said he was an angel, I would have no choice but to believe him, because everything he had said had come absolutely true. And that happened, and that's the first of many. And everybody that I talked to today that mattered instantly gave me their yes when I asked them, will you help me save the world? And we're gonna do it. It's gonna happen. You guys don't even know. It's gonna blow your fucking minds what happens. And it's all not by me and my, I mean, there is some backstory here, right? About that there's a lot of the reason I can call in these favors is because I've been good to people, right, throughout my life. And again, I'm not patting myself on the back because it's an investment and it costs a lot. But I did faithfully give people opportunity when they didn't have it, and to help them when they needed it, when I could. There often wasn't the opportunity to do that. I didn't have the resources or the availability to do it. But sometimes I could point them in the right direction, right, and be kind of an interlocutor with somebody who could help them. But I'm telling you, from somebody who has spent now, again, I'd say 30 plus years, about 32 years, unbroken, specifically, deeply focused on an intimate relationship with my Creator, and trusting Him at every step of the way. And He's never once, not once, ever let me down through. And you guys have seen, I think, just in the couple of years you've known me, the kind of major bullshit that I have to deal with. I have a target on my back, and I have for many years, and I have suffered much pain, and I am very familiar with sorrow. Right, and again, I don't say that as a badge of honor or something, although maybe I deserve it. But that's not the point I'm telling you. It is that I am a man that is familiar with sorrow and just grief and heartache, and largely, I think, because I put myself in the center of the storm. Because when people are in trouble, I find I am called to go get them, right? When they're lost and alone, I can't save them, but I can at least go there and, walk them home. I mean, I got nothing, right? Nothing that I do is in any way attributable to me as a person, other than my commitment to the Creator. Everything that happens around me is the result of the power and might of the Almighty God, the Creator, Jehovah, right? Like that's the guy. I'm not being, hidden about it. I love Jesus, and I'm unashamed about it, and it's cost me a lot, and I don't care, right? Good for you. Like if you hate Him, God, is to me a measure of what you are. Like, how could you hate somebody you don't even know for no reason, right? What did they ever do to you? I don't know, right? But some people really, really bugged. One of the biggest heartaches to me was a really close friend of mine, and we were so close, man. We're together, just really super tight brothers. And when I left LA, I went to Northern California and started, editing a couple of books, and did some writing myself, and just a variety of things. Kind of, got out of the rat race of LA, and just hid. I hid out from the industry, and the opposite of what most people do. And again, in that time that I spent in Northern California, again, was incredibly just gruesomely painful. Like, I went through every heartache imaginable, and by degrees. I mean, but again, he was always there. Never once left my side. Never once let me down. Ever. I will say, never too much and never too soon. You're headed toward the train at 70 miles an hour, and it's right there, and it's the last second. But he never let me down. Not once. Not a single time. Goes I a penny short, ever. On anything. Right? Everything showed up on time. In fact, numerous times I would get checks in the mail for the exact amount I needed the day I needed it, which meant that the check had been sent several days in advance to get there on time for me to get it on time. Is miracles, right? And you see it at work. But today, and then over the last 3 or 4 days, it's hard to keep track now. It has been nothing but a series of associated miracles like this. And what you guys again don't know and don't realize, I think, is that it is going to happen, and this is going to blow up and explode. And I want you to be a part of it, right? Because you've been here and you supported me, right? And so one of the things that we're doing, so sorry. Sorry, guys. Okay, so one of the things that we're doing, because I thought it would be a great idea, and it sounds cool, but I think it's helpful, and it's I think my retirement plan, right? Because again, I don't know how long I can do any of this, so let's go. Is to do like a busking tour, and busking, kind of again the joke, beat bus king. So get like again an RV, and just go on tour, right? Start driving down the West Coast, and again go busking. Set my keyboard up, and just play noodle, just like I do here for you. And probably it's time to merch up, right? Get some shirts, fuck the fucking fuckers, and whatever. It's an opportunity for people to feel involved, but. Right, the idea here is the shaking hands with strangers. Right, we've talked about this before, and I've got the website shakinghands.net, and so I'm trying to get somebody on it real quick to put some material up there so it populates, so we at least have something to work with. But this idea again, will you help Baldini save the world? And we're going to do this again by just shaking hands with strangers. Just a short series of agreements that if you will agree to them, and none of it costs you anything. I'm not asking for a penny, right? I'm happy to take your money. And like I said, I just can't be trusted not to give it away because, it's like, what am I going to do with it, right? Make a pile of it and bury it somewhere before I go? It's stupid, right? So let's have a party. Exactly, Bus King. You got it. It's exactly, right? So you get it. But then invite people out, right? Meeting up when the bus pulls in, right? Then show up, and again with the noodling and jamming. If you want to bring an instrument, right, and join in, yeah, come on, man, let's party. Let's have a jam session. I'm totally into it, and we're gonna have a good time, and it all will be self-funded, right? So here we go. So it's gonna happen. So showing up at in a town near you. It's going to take me a while to get to the East Coast, but we're going to start on the West Coast. And again, I can't give you a date exactly when it's started because, as I said earlier, I need to wind it up like a clock, right, and then let it go. So we've got to get all of the assets in place and all that sort of stuff. But so far, guys, everyone has said yes, and I mean everyone. And when you see the list, you're going to be surprised, and you're going to go, hey. Okay, when kind of philosophy there, and there's the secret king. What if it turned out that one of them was real? Like, okay, not me exactly, but I'm calling in the kind of favors that you only get to use once, but I'm calling all of them in at once, and it's going to work. It's going to work. And I have people on board again. I can't give you their name because it would ruin the surprise, but you're gonna. You will be surprised, I think, at the reach of this already. Right? Already, it's happening in Los Angeles, and people are calling each other without me having to. So, it's gonna be wild, kids, and we're gonna have a lot of fun, right? And I want you to be a part of it, right? Help me save the world. Will you help me save the world? Just a couple of just simple asks. Will you help me? Right, and then the next one is, will you meet with somebody? Will you talk to them? Right, without any kind of adversity, right, and without any sort of judgment, but real investigation. Just get to know the guy, right? That's next to you. That's the first ask. It's so simple. Will you talk to him? Right, and get to know him without any, adversarial or judgmentalism, without trying to sell your thought process. Just get to know the person. Right, shake hands, and then if you agree to that, the next ask is also very simple. Right, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. All right, and then which is, would you then because we're going to make the world a better place, right? So would you then agree to give 1 hour of your time to someone who cannot otherwise, that you can meet a need for them that they otherwise could not meet themselves? And you will find that to be addicting, right? And because it's not about the act itself. What does happen, because I've seen it hundreds of times, what does happen is that it changes their lives, not because of the nature of the work or whatever done. It's that they mattered enough for somebody to take notice and then do something about it, right? They mattered to somebody. And I've seen it change lives over and over. And it's the most, I don't know, life-changing experience you can imagine, right? And it's so simple. It's so easy, and it's like one hour of your time. This month has 744 hours in it. Are you so important that you can't give one to somebody else, right? And I mean something as simple as maybe just reading to somebody who can't, right? It matters, right? It matters because it makes you invested in your neighborhood, right? So now you're changing the world because it's the world around you, something that you can tangibly touch and feel and see, right? And now you're invested, and it'll make you want more and more and more. And, right, hopefully the next person does it as well. And now we've done it. We've literally saved the world, because it's not about solving all the problems and fixing everything. It's just tilt it, right? Just enough to tilt that, just get the boat tilting right back because it was about to tilt over, right? Because, man, it's going to get ugly. And I don't want to be a prophet of doom, but I can't help it, man. I spent 30, 45 minutes with some of these AI things, chatbots or whatever. And I'm telling you, man, I'm not saying this to be inflammatory. This is what I see, right? Is that the world is going to change fundamentally by the end of this year, and not in a positive way. I got to tell you. So look, I played with this thing, and in 15 minutes, right? So imagine. So what I did before, I would have a team, and I would ask my staff to give me a marketing report on these vertical markets, and assess the competition, give me SWOT analysis, and go through the basic stuff, and give me some suggestions on how we can get in there and take some of that market share, whatever it is. And you get so these reports a week and a half or so, and they put it all in and kind of put it all in a blender now between all of them, kind of figure it out. And you get some tech speak there, and then a couple of they're trying to come up like please you or whatever at the end. So, dude, in 15 minutes, I wrote a script that did all of that, did 5 vertical markets with all the right metrics in there, with proper spelling and grammar. Thank you very much. And actually some good ideas at the end, like it's got a summary and some good ideas. And I'm thinking, why in the fuck am I paying anybody $50,000 a year to be an admin when, and 4 of them, right? When this thing does it for, here, I did it. I wrote the script. And these guys going to be out of a job, and they can't go to McDonald's because it's all robo now. The local McDonald's for me is now turning into a robo McDonald's for real. And so you don't got that job there, right? That you begged for those $15 an hour minimum wage jobs. So the companies, they heard you, but they also said, how can we not do that? So we got that going on, which is nice. And you're not going to get laid, right? Because crypto bro, right? You put all your money into BTX or whatever, and that's gone. How's that going for you, huh? Hey, old man, you just don't know what it is. Well, I do. That's why I'm staying the hell away from it. No, let me tell you again. No, I get it. I truly do get it. Probably better than you, right? But one of the advantages of being old is that I've seen the parade go by more than once, right? So, so I know better, right? Stay the hell away from that shit. Right? Your money will flee faster than you put it in. And, sorry. I mean, and so now they're not, they're be pissed off, and they're not going to get laid, right? Because they go on no job, they got no money, and so they don't get that PS5 that they want. Oh, and now it's World War III, right? So, it's going to be, hot dogs for Christmas, folks. Woo. Yeah. So, world is going to fundamentally change, and not in a good way. And again, I'm not desiring of it. I'm not desirous, obviously, although perhaps there's a part of me that it sees some come up, that's necessary. But without getting into any of that, let's just again say here we are. Right, let's just agree that here we are. The world is probably a less safe and enjoyable place than it was 10 years ago. Yeah, you go and know a guy with a van and a gun, right? Let's do it. But I'm not kidding. This is a very real, serious attempt. As weird as it sounds and silly, but I have a little flair for the dramatic, so give me a break, right? Yeah, we're gonna save the world. Right, just by shaking hands with each other, right? Just and for really nothing. I'm not even asking for your money, right? Just 1 hour of time, and then if you want more, yes, there's always more, right? There's always more available. But the first asks are easy, right? They're easy. They're almost free, all right? So, will you help me change the world? That's all I want, right? Will you help me change the world in the time that I have left? And even beyond that, because I want to give it as a gift to you. Like, keep going, right? Don't let me stop you. Get the fuck out there and do this shit, man. It is not that fucking hard, I gotta tell you. And if you say no, right, then you can just click the box, yes, I am an asshole. How hard is it just to be cool to somebody for an hour? Come on, man. Like, if that's your, I don't know, man, if that's your thing, you better check your definition of what a good person is. I don't mean to be rude about it, but I think we can all agree that if you can't give 1/750th of something to somebody else who needs it, you're kind of a dick. I gotta tell you. Okay, so there you go. That's it. But miracles are happening, and I am super excited. And you guys are not gonna believe the shit that's coming down the pipe. It is real. It's real. And I know you think I've lost my mind, and okay, maybe, but irrespective of all of that, it really is going to happen and I really am pulling in some of these old favors that I have saved until now, and several of them along the way. They said, "Hey, what can I do for you?" And I said, "You know what? Just put it on my tab, and one day I will call you and I will ask you for help, and then at that moment, please help me." And so this is how I'm choosing to spend it, on you, right? Not on me, and not on the Make-A-Wish Foundation or whatever, and not for me to go to the Bahamas or on a tour, on a cruise or whatever. Nope, I'm going to give all of it to you and more, right? And more. So please help me change the world. Will you do it? It's a simple ask. It's real easy. I hope that you say yes. And you guys, I think, will say yes, right? I think that you will. And I think that's a cool thing, because I know that I can count on you, right? Okay, David, I will. Oh, perfect. Yeah, absolutely. I will call you. Like, what do you mean later? Send me a note, email or whatever about like when that window is, and because I'm talking to people all over the world, and it's kind of a blur right now. I got to be honest. And so one of the things that I need, right, is sort of admin assistance, because I can't remember it, right? I can do the thing, I kind of can't remember it. So if you'll help me out. Be very direct in your communication, and send it to me when like for you, David, you know how to get a hold of me, right? We'll be good. But that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Dude, it's going to happen. It's happening right now. The miracles are in play. Dude, you guys are a part of, you're going to see it here first. We're saving the world with the Great Baldini. Come on down, right? Here we go. We're lighting the fires on this candle. Come on, man. Get excited. So when was the last time you saw somebody who got a death sentence and came out like this, excited to walk through the door? That's me, guys. You know why? Because we're going to fucking change the world. That's why. Get the fuck out of bed and let's do it.